Welcome, dear friends, to a gentle journey through 150 soothing facts about Avatar, The Last Airbender, the cherished series that began as a simple, animated tale of a young boy frozen in ice and blossomed into a world spanning story filled with elemental wonder, ancient wisdom, and friendships that shaped a generation. Tonight, we'll drift through the inspirations that gave birth to bending, the cultures that shaped each nation, the artistry behind its landscapes and music, and the timeless themes of balance, harmony, and quiet courage woven into a world that feels both fantastical and deeply familiar. As we move softly through these facts, may the calm of this beloved universe settle gently around you, like evening air cooling over still water. And now, allow your breathing to slow. Let your shoulders melt downward. Feel the quiet hush gathering in the space around you, a softening of the day's weight, a drifting ease that wraps you in warmth. With every breath, imagine yourself sinking just a little deeper into rest. If you enjoy drifting through peaceful stories like this, you're welcome to subscribe and softly tell me where you're listening from tonight. And when you're ready, we'll begin our slow journey with the first 10 facts, letting the world of Avatar guide you towards sleep. Fact 1. Avatar. The Last Airbender began as a quiet spark in the minds of Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, born from a simple sketch of a boy with an arrow on his head and a herd of bison drifting behind him. That small image carried a feeling of movement, of air and freedom, and it became the seed of an entire universe. The creators imagined worlds shaped by elements, cultures rooted in history, and characters carried forward by destiny and compassion. From that gentle drawing emerged a story filled with warmth, balance, and the soft pull of ancient traditions. Fact 2. The concept of bending grew from the creator's fascination with real-world martial arts, each chosen with care to reflect the temperament of its corresponding element. They wanted bending to feel like a meditation in motion, slow where it needed to be slow, expressive where it needed to flow, grounded in breath, intention, and inner stillness. This approach brought a quiet harmony to the show's physical movements, letting each nation carry a distinct rhythm. Even in moments of intensity, bending remained a dance, a gentle interplay between body and world, inviting viewers to sense the balance hidden within every gesture. Fact 3. Aang himself was inspired by ideas of wandering monks, spiritual seekers, and children who hold extraordinary wisdom without losing their playful innocence. The creators wanted him to be a symbol of freedom, someone who moved lightly through the world, guided not by force but by compassion and open-hearted curiosity. His airbending reflects this nature, soft, circular, almost weightless. Even his laughter feels like a breeze, brushing through leaves. Aang's design and personality became the heart of the series, introducing a hero who carried responsibility with gentleness, reminding us that strength can be quiet and courage can be kind. Fact 4. The world of Avatar was shaped slowly, like clay warmed between thoughtful hands, drawing inspiration from a tapestry of Asian cultures, philosophies, and histories. Instead of copying, the creators honored these influences with care, studying architecture, clothing, calligraphy, and landscapes to infuse every corner of the show with authenticity. The result was a universe that felt at once imaginary and deeply grounded, a place where temples perched on mountains felt ancient and familiar, and bustling markets carried echoes of real world traditions. This attention to detail gave the world its peaceful fullness, a setting that invited viewers to linger and breathe. Fact 5. The idea of the avatar cycle, moving gently from nation to nation, like a lantern passed through time, was inspired by concepts of reincarnation and the eternal search for balance. The creators imagined the avatar as a quiet thread woven through history, always returning when the world drifted too far from harmony. This cycle brought a sense of rhythm to the story, like tides rising and falling. Each life held memories of those that came before, yet each avatar carried their own burdens, joys, and lessons. It became a soft reminder that even across lifetimes, growth continues, like a slow unfolding. Fact 6. Appa, Aang's loyal sky bison, was inspired by the gentle heaviness of manatees and the calm presence of large animals that move as if cradling the world around them. His design was meant to feel comforting: round edges, soft fur, and steady movements that almost lull the viewer with their rhythm. Appa represents safety, companionship, and the soothing certainty of always having a place to rest. His bond with Aang, formed since childhood, was crafted to feel timeless, like a friendship without words, built on trust and shared flight. In many ways, Appa became the series' quiet heartbeat. Fact 7. Katara's creation began with the idea of a young girl who carried both strength and gentleness in equal measure. Her waterbending, reflecting the emotional tide that shaped her life. The creators wanted her to embody resilience, a softness that persists, endures, and adapts. Her design, with flowing blues and warm eyes, mirrored the calm presence she brought to the group. Through her, the story explored themes of healing, nurturing, and growth. Katara became a gentle anchor, someone who guided others not through pressure, but through steady reminders of compassion, hope, and the quiet courage found in forgiveness. Fact 8. Sokka emerged from the desire to include a fully human perspective, someone without bending who still shaped the world through cleverness, determination, and heart. His character grew into a reminder that not all strength is elemental. Some of it comes from adaptability, creativity, and the willingness to learn. Though he begins with uncertainty, Sokka's journey is one of gentle unfolding. He listens, observes, and discovers his purpose with patience. Even his humor, light and warm, provides a soothing contrast to heavier moments, grounding the story in humanity. Sokka's presence reminds us that every path, bending or not, holds importance. Fact 9. Zuko's character was crafted with remarkable care, shaped to embody the slow, painful, beautiful process of transformation. His earliest design carried the weight of sorrow, his scar a reminder of wounds, both seen and unseen. Yet beneath the conflict, the creators wanted him to hold an ember of quiet longing, the desire to belong, to be whole, to rediscover gentleness lost to anger. His journey mirrors a long exhale, a release of tension held too tightly. Through Zuko, the series explored redemption as a soft, gradual healing, proving that even fire can learn to warm instead of burn. Fact 10. The four nations were shaped like elements, transformed into cultures. The water tribes flowing with adaptability, the earth kingdom grounded in endurance, the fire nation glowing with ambition, and the air nomads drifting with spiritual lightness. The creators envisioned each society as an expression of how people might live if shaped by the temperament of their surrounding element. This world building offered gentle contrasts, frozen tundras beside ancient deserts, breezy temples high above seas of green. Together, these nations formed a balanced circle, reflecting the quiet truth that harmony arises not from sameness, but from the peaceful coexistence of differences. Fact 11. Waterbending was inspired by Tai Chi, a soft, flowing martial art rooted in circular movement and gentle redirection. The animators studied the way Tai Chi practitioners let energy shift like waves, never forcing, always guiding. This created a bending style that felt graceful and reflective, mirroring the calming qualities of water itself. Every motion Katara performs carries the quiet rhythm of breath, the rise and fall of an unseen tide. Her movements remind us that strength does not always arrive as force. It can come as softness, patience, and the ability to move with the world rather than against it. Fact 12. Earthbending drew its inspiration from Hungar, a grounded, powerful martial art emphasizing deep stances and rooted strength. The creators wanted earthbending to feel steady and unmoving, like mountains breathing beneath the earth. Each stomp, each sweep, each still moment reflects the unwavering presence of stone. Toph's style, however, gently diverges. Her seismic sense and blindness led animators to incorporate southern praying mantis techniques, small but precise. These variations show the adaptability within the element itself, reminding us that even the most solid earth can shift, flex, and respond with a calm awareness of its own quiet power. Fact. Number 13. Firebending's foundation lies in northern Shaolin, a martial art known for high kicks, extended strikes, and expressive bursts of motion. Yet the creators softened the concept of fire, shaping it not as destruction, but as the warmth of life, discipline, and inner balance. They wanted fire to flicker with purpose, not rage. Zuko's early bending reflects instability, sharp, tense, incomplete, while Iroh's movements show fire at peace, flowing like candlelight instead of wildfire. This contrast reveals how the element changes with the heart of the one who wields it, offering a tender reminder that even fire can learn serenity. Fact 14. Airbending was modeled after Bagua, a style focused on circular steps, constant motion, and evasion rather than confrontation. Animators studied how practitioners glide around opponents, moving like shifting breezes. This created a bending style that felt light and playful, perfectly matching the spirit of the air nomads. Aang's movements resemble a dance with the world, stepping, spinning, and drifting with effortless calm. Even in conflict, he moves to avoid harm, expressing his deep desire to preserve life. Airbending became a visual whisper, a soft reminder that gentleness can be a form of strength and freedom can be its own sanctuary. Fact 15. The Water Tribe's culture was inspired primarily by indigenous Arctic communities, whose traditions, clothing, and relationship with the environment shaped the artistic direction of the northern and southern tribes. The creators wanted the tribes to reflect resilience, people who thrived in the quiet vastness of ice and snow. Their homes curve with warmth, built to hold families close against the cold. The gentle glow of lanterns, the sound of water shifting beneath frozen landscapes, and the deep bonds within small communities shaped the tribe's emotional tone. They became a symbol of endurance, adaptability, and the soothing strength of togetherness. Fact 16. The Earth Kingdom drew inspiration from Imperial China, with vast territories, ancient walls, bustling cities, and traditions carried through generations. Ba Sing Se, in particular, was crafted with layers of meaning. A city divided into concentric rings, each representing class, distance, and emotional complexity. Yet, even with its size, the Earth Kingdom carries a grounded warmth. Markets hum with quiet life, tea houses glow with amber light, and serene countryside villages offer moments of stillness. The nation's design gently reflects the heart of Earth itself, enduring, steady, and rich with history, resting like deep roots beneath the surface. Fact 17: Fire Nation aesthetics were shaped by influences from Japan's industrial era, as well as Southeast Asian architecture. The creators imagined a nation wrestling with ambition, its structures marked by sharp angles, warm colors, and heavy symbolism. Yet beneath this intensity lies a quieter cultural identity, rich in tea traditions, storytelling, and family bonds. Even their uniforms and masks were designed to reflect both formality and vulnerability. The nation's visual language reminds us that every culture holds dualities: light and shadow, warmth and intensity, and within the Fire Nation's artistry, one can sense both the gentle ember and the rising flame. Fact 18: The air nomads were influenced by Tibetan and Nepalese monastic traditions, blending spiritual philosophy with pastoral simplicity. Their temples, perched on mountains wrapped in clouds, were meant to feel like sanctuaries, untouched by hurry or conflict. The creators envisioned a culture built entirely around kindness, meditation, and lightness of being. Everything from their clothing to their music reflected openness and peace. Even their cuisine, simple and vegetarian, was crafted with intention. Though the air nomads are largely absent from the series, their presence lingers like a soft echo, offering a gentle vision of harmony, humility, and unburdened freedom. Fact 19: The hybrid animals of the Avatar world, like turtle ducks, badger moles, and platypus bears, were created to infuse the world with whimsical life while still maintaining emotional grounding. The animators blended familiar creatures to spark recognition, but softened their features to feel comforting rather than strange. Many hybrids reflect symbolic themes: badger moles representing ancient wisdom, turtle ducks embodying gentleness. These creatures move with slow, rounded motions, making them feel safe, approachable, and soothing to watch. Their presence adds a quiet charm to the world, reminding viewers that imagination can coexist peacefully with familiarity, creating spaces where wonder feels tender and inviting. Fact 20: The spiritual themes of Avatar were shaped by philosophies such as Buddhism, Taoism, and Hinduism, all gently woven into the fabric of the narrative. Instead of presenting spirituality as grand or dramatic, the creators allowed it to appear in small, soft moments, deep breaths, thoughtful pauses, and quiet reflections. The idea of balance became an emotional current, flowing beneath every storyline. Characters learned to find stillness within themselves, even amid uncertainty. This approach offered viewers a peaceful perspective on growth, that wisdom rises slowly, like dawn light spreading across water, and that harmony begins as a quiet truth discovered within. Fact 21: The show's unique art style was influenced by East Asian brushwork, particularly the traditional watercolors of Chinese and Japanese landscape paintings. The creators wanted the world of Avatar to feel both vibrant and serene, balancing sweeping vistas with delicate details. The fluidity of brushstrokes found in these paintings shaped how the backgrounds were painted, with each scene carrying the rhythm of flowing ink or soft washes of color. This influence allowed the world to breathe like a painting in motion, where landscapes and characters existed in harmony with the quiet ebb of nature's ever changing beauty. Fact 22. The opening sequence of Avatar was designed to establish a quiet sense of history, using simple images to convey an entire world's origins. The creators wanted the animation to feel like a living memory, as if it was a forgotten story being retold through the passage of time. Soft, subtle animation techniques were used to bring the opening scroll to life, highlighting the delicate relationship between the elements. The music, slow and meditative, further anchored this sense of the world's ancient past, one where balance and peace were once kept, and one that would need to be found once more. Fact 23. Each of the four nations was given its own distinct visual language. The water tribes were filled with soft blues and whites, creating a serene, calm atmosphere that reflected the flow of water. The Earth Kingdom was painted with deep, rich greens and browns, symbolizing the Earth's strength and resilience. The Fire Nation used reds and oranges, representing energy and ambition, while the Air Nomads were surrounded by light, muted colors, creamy whites and yellows, symbolizing purity and spiritual freedom. These palettes guided not only the aesthetic feel of the show, but also its emotional tone, drawing viewers deeper into each culture. Fact 24. The idea of Aang being the last airbender was inspired by the tragic historical moments when cultures or civilizations were nearly lost. The creators wanted to portray the air nomads' extinction not just as a narrative device, but as a sorrowful event that resonated with the loss of history itself. Aang's journey was born from this loss, his deep longing for his people, the memories that stayed with him, and the emotional weight of living as the last of his kind. This narrative brought a quiet, meditative theme to the series. How can one heal from the loss of an entire culture? Fact 25. Sokka's design was crafted to emphasize his grounded humanity. He was the only character without bending powers, yet he held a different kind of strength, the ability to keep a group together. His humor and cleverness were carefully crafted to balance the emotional depth of his companions. The creators chose to make him the comic relief, not by exaggerating his traits, but by grounding his humor in his relatability. This allowed Sokka's laughter to feel genuine, not forced. His humor, soft like the glow of a lantern, provided a momentary release from the weight of the world he carried with his sister. Fact 26. The creators of Avatar often referred to Japanese animation, particularly the work of Studio Ghibli, as a primary influence. They admired how Ghibli films often balance deeply emotional storytelling with moments of quiet, subtle beauty. Avatar was similarly designed to offer more than just action. It was meant to be a story of growth, personal discovery, and the quiet moments that mark true change. The animators looked to the slow, reflective pacing of Ghibli films, blending soft visual storytelling with complex, introspective themes so that every scene held the possibility of gentle transformation for both characters and viewers alike. Fact 27. Iroh's character was inspired by Zen philosophy, a peaceful, grounded presence that balanced the intensity of the Fire Nation. The creators designed him to be a character who embodied calm wisdom, moving slowly through the world with gentle patience. Iroh's deep love for tea was meant to reflect his meditative nature, teaching viewers that small moments, like the act of sharing a cup of tea, could carry deep meaning. His journey was about finding peace, not through conquering, but through letting go, accepting what is, and offering wisdom when needed. In this way, Iroh became the series' tranquil anchor. Fact 28. The idea of the avatar state was inspired by the concept of enlightenment, moments of deep clarity and unity with the universe. When Aang enters this state, it's as if he's shedding his individuality and embracing the wisdom of every avatar who came before him. The animators wanted the avatar state to feel overwhelming yet awe inspiring, like a flood of ancient memories and raw power. This transformation was visualized through glowing tattoos and intense energy surging from within, symbolizing the connection to the past and the weight of Aang's responsibility. It reflects the quiet intensity of inner awakening. Fact 29. The design of the Fire Nation capital was influenced by traditional Japanese castles, steep, towering structures that conveyed both strength and vulnerability. The city was created to feel imposing, yet beautiful, with sharp angles, towering spires, and heavy walls. This design mirrored the Fire Nation's internal conflict, a people caught between pride, ambition, and the longing for peace. The color scheme of dark reds, black, and gold gave the city a regal yet foreboding atmosphere. It was a place of power, but also of loneliness, echoing the emotional tension that ran through the Fire Nation's royal family. Fact 30. The creators were deeply influenced by the idea of balance, not just between the elements, but within the characters themselves. Aang, though capable of immense power, was driven by an unwavering desire for peace. Zuko, on the other hand, was shaped by inner turmoil and conflict, yet he sought redemption through his quiet, steady growth. Each character's journey mirrored the need to find equilibrium, whether in their relationships, their bending, or their own hearts. The story carried the message that balance isn't always perfect. It's a journey of adjusting, learning, and slowly finding harmony in the chaos of the world. Fact 31. Aang's design, with his distinct arrow tattoos and youthful face, was created to symbolize purity and light. His design reflects the spiritual teachings of the air nomads, embodying the peacefulness and lightness of air itself. The tattoos themselves are a visual representation of his identity and his bond with the air nomads, marking him as both a child and an ancient soul. His youthful, innocent face brings a feeling of warmth, like a child's laughter filling the sky. Aang's appearance is both simple and profound, reminding us that wisdom often comes in the most unassuming forms. Fact 32. Aang's journey as the Avatar is a metaphor for spiritual awakening, the gradual process of coming to terms with one's purpose. The creators wanted Aang's story to echo the path of a seeker, someone who learns not by force, but through acceptance, reflection, and surrender. The Avatar state, when Aang accesses it, is a representation of his higher self, a culmination of wisdom and strength from the past. Yet it's not until Aang learns to reconcile this power with love and compassion that he truly becomes the Avatar, embodying the balance that the world so desperately needs. Fact 33. Aang's deep connection to the spirit world was one of the defining elements of the series. The creators explored spiritual themes through Aang's ability to communicate with past avatars and spirits, offering viewers a reflection of how interconnected all life is. The Avatar's ability to enter the spirit world is a gentle reminder that the unseen realms are just as important as the physical ones. Aang's journey through these worlds, often quiet, contemplative, and filled with soft, ethereal images, gently invites the viewer to consider their own spiritual paths, the invisible threads connecting all things. Fact 34. The concept of Aang's past lives was inspired by the philosophical belief in reincarnation, the idea that we are all part of a larger, continuous cycle of growth and change. The creators wanted Aang's past lives to feel like shadows of wisdom, offering him guidance from those who had walked before him. Each past life is a silent echo, their voices soft whispers of advice that Aang carries as he moves through his journey. This connection to the past reminds us that we are never alone in our struggles. Those who came before us are always with us. Fact 35. Aang's struggle to accept his role as the Avatar represents the inner conflict between duty and desire. He was not chosen to be the Avatar out of his own will, but rather as part of the cycle of reincarnation. The creators made Aang's conflict about this responsibility central to his character. His reluctance to fight, his longing to preserve peace rather than engage in violence, mirrors the tension many face in real life when confronted with a duty that feels too great or too heavy. This inner turmoil became the heart of Aang's spiritual journey, and his growth stemmed from reconciling this burden. Fact 36. The theme of detachment from material possessions is present in the air nomad's philosophy, which emphasizes spiritual freedom. The air nomads lived in simplicity, surrounded only by the essentials of life, and Aang reflected this lifestyle in his own journey. The creators used Aang's connection to the air nomads to show that true power comes not from what one owns, but from how one lives. His quiet faith in the world around him and his ability to let go of attachments were part of his growth as he learned to live with the lightness of a leaf floating on the wind. Fact 37. Aang's refusal to kill his enemies, even when the world seems to demand it, is a key spiritual message in Avatar. It reflects the belief that true peace can only be achieved through compassion, not violence. The creators wanted Aang's journey to reflect a higher moral path, one where the Avatar's role is not just to fight evil, but to inspire change through love, understanding, and forgiveness. This theme is represented through Aang's continuous efforts to find peaceful solutions, even in the face of overwhelming odds. His journey becomes a gentle reminder that healing comes from the heart, not from destruction. Fact 38. Aang's connection to his spiritual animal, Appa, was designed to reflect the deep bond between a person and their animal guide in many spiritual traditions. Appa is not just Aang's companion. He represents the grounding force in Aang's life, a steady presence in a world that often feels chaotic. The gentle sound of Appa's breath, the warmth of his fur, and the trust between him and Aang offer the feeling of quiet companionship. Appa is a spiritual anchor, helping Aang navigate the emotional weight of his journey and reminding him that peace is often found in companionship and loyalty. Fact 39. The show's use of elemental balance as a spiritual metaphor mirrors the philosophies of Taoism, where balance between opposing forces is the key to harmony. The creators wanted the elements to represent the dynamic interaction of natural forces, each one needing the others to create balance. Water flows and nourishes, earth holds and endures, fire transforms and inspires, and air clears and frees. Together, they create a harmonious world, and Aang's role as the Avatar is to maintain this balance, not just physically, but spiritually. This element based philosophy carries a quiet message. Life's greatest harmony comes from the interplay of opposites. Fact 40. The spirits in Avatar, like the Koizilla and the Blue Spirit, were designed to reflect the quiet mystery of nature. The creators envisioned the spirit world as a place where ancient forces exist just outside the physical realm, mysterious, gentle, and untouchable, but deeply connected to the world. Spirits in the show are often seen as guardians, protectors, and guides, offering moments of reflection. Their designs evoke softness and otherworldliness, with forms that are simultaneously ethereal and grounded. The spirit world invites the viewer to imagine that there is more than meets the eye, a calm, unseen presence that influences everything. Fact 41. The water tribes were inspired by indigenous Arctic cultures, particularly their resilient connection to the harsh, icy environment. The creators aimed to capture the quiet strength of people who live in such extremes, how their cultures are built on deep wisdom, survival, and harmony with nature. The water tribe's design reflects this, with simple yet effective clothing and architecture that protect against the cold, all while incorporating symbols of their spiritual and cultural ties. Water, as an element, reflects both physical endurance and emotional depth, reminding us that beauty often grows in the most difficult places. Fact 42. The Northern Water Tribe, with its grand icy architecture and towering ice palaces, was meant to evoke a sense of ancient mystique, like a forgotten kingdom held in a still, eternal winter. The creators designed it as a place of wisdom, but also isolation, where knowledge and culture are preserved amidst cold beauty. Its design evokes a feeling of reverence, of silence broken only by the gentle crackle of ice. This reflects the importance of balance within the water tribes. Their wisdom is profound, but the isolation they endure is a constant reminder of the harshness of their world. Fact 43. The Southern Water Tribe was designed to reflect resilience in the face of hardship. Originally smaller and more vulnerable than its northern counterpart, the Southern tribe embodies the spirit of survival and hope, even when resources are limited. Its architecture, built into igloos and small villages, emphasizes community and togetherness, showcasing how people can thrive despite the harshest conditions. The creators use the contrast between the two tribes to explore themes of community, identity, and the importance of preserving tradition, even when the world around you changes. It's a story of quiet strength, of surviving by supporting one another. Fact 44. The waterbenders' movements were designed to reflect the flowing, graceful qualities of water itself. Drawing on the movements of Tai Chi, the bending style is smooth, circular, and deliberate, as though the bender is part of the water's very current. The fluidity of water and the rhythm of breath were key inspirations for animators who wanted to create a bending style that felt alive, one that could flow and adapt like the ocean's tide or a river's course. The design of waterbending emphasizes the idea that power, like water, is both quiet and capable of great force when needed. Fact 45. The moon and ocean are central to the water tribe's mythology. In the show, the moon spirit, Tui, and the ocean spirit, La, embody the balance of water itself, both serene and powerful. The moon controls the tides, representing cycles and the soft ebb and flow of time. The creators wanted the water tribe's culture to reflect this interconnectedness between the spiritual and physical worlds. Their beliefs are deeply tied to nature, and their understanding of the world is a balance between the seen and unseen, between the quiet pull of the moon and the vastness of the ocean's depths. Fact 46. In the show, Katara was crafted as the emotional heart of the water tribes. Her design reflects both her strength and compassion, with flowing blue clothing that symbolizes the soothing nature of water. Katara's role in the story is to guide Aang, not only as a waterbender, but as a protector, teacher, and caretaker. She is the one who nurtures those around her, teaching both the people of the water tribes and her friends how to bend with heart and patience. Her journey is one of personal growth, but also of quiet, loving support that helps others find their own strength. Fact 47. The Water Tribe's healing abilities were inspired by real world healing practices, such as acupuncture and traditional medicine. The creators wanted to incorporate these gentle arts into the Water Tribe's bending style to showcase the spiritual and restorative powers of water. Katara's ability to heal through water is both symbolic and literal. Water has the power to cleanse, soothe, and restore, just as the act of healing requires patience, attention, and care. This ability, although subtle, became a quiet yet powerful symbol of water's nurturing potential, a reminder that some of the most important things come from stillness and gentleness. Fact 48. The design of Katara's waterbending skills evolved from her connection to her emotions. At the start of the series, her abilities are raw and unrefined, but they grow as she becomes more confident and in tune with herself. The creators wanted her bending to be an expression of her inner growth, each movement representing a step toward understanding not only her powers, but also herself. As Katara learns to control the flow of water, she learns to control her emotions, embracing both the calm and the storm within her. Her bending becomes a visual metaphor for the balance she strives to find. Fact 49. The Water Tribe's belief in the importance of community is reflected in their social structure. Families, clans, and tribes are tightly knit, relying on each other for survival and strength. This sense of unity is central to their identity, as shown by their collective response to crisis and hardship. The creators wanted to convey that no one is truly alone in the water tribes, and that community is both a literal and emotional foundation. Through Aang and Katara's journey, the series showcases how strength can be found in the people we choose to surround ourselves with, particularly in times of struggle. Fact 50. The design of the Southern Water Tribe's flag is symbolic of both water and the moon. The flowing blue of the flag represents the endless cycles of water, and the crescent moon at its center reflects the tribe's spiritual beliefs. The design, simple yet profound, communicates the tribe's connection to nature and the elements. In the Southern Water Tribe, even their flags are reminders of their deep ties to the earth and the cosmos. It's a quiet, unspoken reminder that every part of their culture, from the smallest flag to the greatest act of bending, reflects the balance between land, sea, and sky. Fact 51. The Earth Kingdom was designed to represent stability, strength, and endurance, qualities that are essential for survival in a world full of turbulence. The kingdom's architecture, with its massive stone walls and towering fortresses, reflects its people's deep connection to the earth itself. Its design was inspired by ancient China and Mongolian cultures, emphasizing a sense of permanence and unyielding resolve. The Earth Kingdom's people are grounded in tradition and history, and the kingdom's vast, varied landscape, from sprawling cities to dense forests, captures the diversity of life that flourishes within its borders, despite its harsh exterior. Fact 52. The city of Ba Sing Se, the heart of the Earth Kingdom, was designed as a place of overwhelming size and complexity. Its massive, layered walls, each one symbolizing a different class, reflect the division within its society. The creators wanted the city to feel like a living, breathing entity, a place where life was carefully structured, yet suffocating in its control. The city's design evokes a sense of confinement, as if the walls themselves are keeping its people both protected and isolated from the world. Ba Sing Se becomes a character in its own right, full of secrets and hidden stories. Fact 53. Toph Beifong was introduced as a character who would challenge traditional perceptions of strength. The creators wanted her to represent the power of independence, self determination, and inner strength. Born blind, Toph's abilities as an earthbender are an expression of her remarkable connection to the earth. Her mastery of seismic sense, allowing her to see through vibrations in the ground, was meant to show that true strength comes from understanding the world around you in a different way. Toph's design, bold, confident, and fiercely independent, was a symbol of how personal power can flourish even in the most unexpected places. Fact 54. The earthbending style is deeply rooted in the philosophy of strength and rootedness, mirroring the earth itself. The movements are powerful, deliberate, and grounded, designed to reflect a sense of stability. Earthbenders tap into the energy beneath them, using their connection to the earth to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. The bending style is built on the principle that one must stay firm and unyielding, like a rock, no matter how strong the winds may blow. In contrast to the fluid, adaptable movements of water or fire, earthbending emphasizes control, fortitude, and the quiet power of stillness. Fact 50. Toph's journey as a character was designed to reflect the struggle between external perceptions and internal realities. As a blind girl, she defies society's expectations by becoming the greatest earthbender in the world. Her character explores themes of independence, acceptance, and the limits of perception. The creators chose to make her a fierce and unapologetic character who challenges both the expectations of others and her own beliefs about herself. Through Toph, the series gently teaches that strength is not defined by appearance, but by the quiet power of resilience and self belief. Fact 56. The Earth Kingdom's desert landscapes, as seen in places like the Saiwang Desert, were inspired by the vast, unending sands of the Sahara and Gobi deserts. These harsh, desolate environments reflect the themes of isolation and survival. In the desert, every step is heavy with heat and silence, and even the smallest oasis feels like a precious haven. The creators wanted the desert to represent the challenge of finding something meaningful in a world that often feels barren and unyielding. Yet, even in this harsh environment, life endures, showing that strength often arises from the most unlikely places. Fact 57. The Earth Kingdom's role in the larger world is reflective of its position as a land of both strength and vulnerability. The Earth Kingdom represents the middle ground between the fiery ambition of the Fire Nation and the spiritual lightness of the air nomads. Its people are often caught between these forces, forced to defend their land while grappling with their own internal struggles. The Earth Kingdom's central role in the series is a reminder of how civilizations that are deeply rooted in tradition can sometimes become inflexible and resistant to change, leading to both strength and stagnation. Fact 58: King Bumi, the eccentric ruler of Omashu, was designed to embody the unexpected nature of true wisdom. His quirky personality and unpredictable behavior mask his incredible intelligence and experience. The creators wanted Bumi to be a character who challenged conventional ideas of leadership and wisdom, showing that wisdom doesn't always look serious or conventional. His playful nature, combined with his deep understanding of earthbending and strategy, teaches viewers that sometimes the most profound truths are hidden behind laughter and chaos. King Bumi's character is a reminder that wisdom often comes from embracing both lightness and seriousness in equal measure. Fact 59: The Earth Kingdom's military strategy was influenced by the idea of defensive strength. The Earth Kingdom's soldiers are trained to be patient, deliberate, and calculated in their movements. The creators wanted the Earth Kingdom's military to reflect the strength of the Earth itself, powerful but steady, slow to act, but devastating when they do. Earthbenders in the military are trained to use the terrain to their advantage, manipulating the land around them to create defensive fortifications or offensive attacks. The Earth Kingdom's military strategy emphasizes patience, waiting for the right moment to strike, much like the slow erosion of stone over time. Fact 60: The Great Walls of the Earth Kingdom were designed to symbolize the strength of its people, unyielding, enduring, and ever watchful. These massive structures, seen in cities like Ba Sing Se, convey a sense of both security and oppression. The walls protect, but they also isolate. The creators wanted the walls to reflect the inner turmoil of the Earth Kingdom, caught between its deep desire for stability and its need for change. These towering structures become a metaphor for the Earth Kingdom's struggle. How do you balance security with freedom and strength with growth in a world that constantly shifts? Fact 61: The Fire Nation was designed to represent passion, ambition, and the unrelenting drive for power. Its architecture, with sharp angles, its towering spires, and bold lines, conveys a sense of strength and control. The creators drew inspiration from Japan's feudal era and Southeast Asian influences, using red, orange, and gold to symbolize energy, vitality, and dominance. The Fire Nation's visual style, though imposing, also reflects the internal conflict of its people, caught between their drive for greatness and the consequences of unchecked ambition. It serves as a reminder that power, when misused, can burn both the wielder and the world around them. Fact 62: Firebending was the most dynamic of all the bending styles, reflecting the element's association with change, destruction, and renewal. The creators designed firebending to feel alive, crackling with energy and force. Early on, firebenders could only generate flames through aggression and anger, emphasizing the connection between uncontrolled emotions and destructive power. However, as characters like Zuko and Iroh grow, they learn to bend fire with discipline, showing that true mastery lies in control, balance, and inner peace. This shift reflects the Fire Nation's internal struggle, the need to harness their fiery energy for creation, not destruction. Fact 63: Zuko's journey was shaped by the theme of redemption, making his character arc one of the most complex in the series. The creators wanted Zuko's story to explore the slow, painful process of finding one's true identity, especially when that identity is shaped by conflicting forces. His struggle between his loyalty to his father and his desire for honor led him down a path of self doubt and turmoil. Over time, Zuko learns that true honor doesn't come from fulfilling someone else's expectations, but from listening to his heart and making peace with his own choices. Facta 64, the Fire Nation royal family was designed to symbolize both the might and corruption of unchecked power. The creators wanted Fire Lord Ozai to embody the destructive potential of absolute control. His cold, calculated demeanor, combined with his abusive relationship with Zuko, made him a stark contrast to Iroh, his brother. While Iroh seeks wisdom, peace, and understanding, Ozai clings to domination and superiority, believing in the supremacy of the Fire Nation above all else. Their relationship becomes a powerful metaphor for the danger of power that seeks to crush the spirit rather than nurture it. Fact 65. The Fire Nation's military presence was inspired by historical imperialism, the desire to expand, conquer, and dominate. The creators designed the Fire Nation's fleet and soldiers to reflect a world obsessed with control, where strength is valued above compassion. Their weapons, like the fire-breathing war machines, were designed to symbolize the destructive potential of unchecked ambition. Yet even within the Fire Nation's militaristic structure, there are those who question the cost of this dominance, such as Zuko and Iroh. This inner conflict reveals that power without understanding leads only to chaos, and that true strength lies in restraint. Fact 66. The Fire Nation's symbol, a flame contained within a circle, represents both the destructive and regenerative power of fire. The creators wanted the symbol to reflect the dual nature of fire. It can bring light, warmth, and life, but it can also burn, destroy, and consume. This duality is echoed in the Fire Nation's narrative arc, a nation that seeks to conquer the world through fire, but whose people are slowly realizing the cost of that power. Through Zuko's journey, the series explores how fire, when used with wisdom and control, can become a tool for healing, not harm. Fact 67. The Fire Nation's relationship with the moon is complex, as the moon plays an essential role in both the world's spiritual and physical balance. The creators wanted the moon to represent a quiet, calming force, something that contrasts the fiery ambition of the Fire Nation. The moon spirit is Tui, who was once a central figure in the Fire Nation's rituals, symbolizes balance and peace, offering the Fire Nation a chance to reconnect with harmony if they choose to embrace it. This delicate balance reflects the central conflict of the Fire Nation. Can they control their flames or let them consume them? Fact 68. The Fire Nation's culture was designed to reflect the nation's complex relationship with power, ambition, and control. While the Fire Nation is often portrayed as ruthless and driven, the creators wanted to show that this aggressive pursuit of dominance is not the true nature of its people. Beneath the surface of military strategy and political ambition lies a culture rich in art, music, and tradition. This duality was embodied in characters like Iroh, who, though a high-ranking officer, embodies a deep respect for peace, introspection, and the wisdom gained through hardship. The series asks whether a nation can balance these two sides. Fact 69. The Fire Nation's clothing was influenced by traditional Japanese armor, with a focus on bold, angular shapes that reflect the fiery, rigid nature of the nation. The creators wanted the clothing to feel both intimidating and formal, representing the strict hierarchy and control that runs through the Fire Nation's military and political systems. However, they also added layers of softer, flowing fabrics to indicate that there is more to the Fire Nation than just power and dominance. Even in their clothing, the Fire Nation's people reveal their internal conflict, their need for balance between their fiery nature and the wisdom of restraint. Fact 70. The Fire Nation's flag was designed with bold reds, yellows, and blacks to symbolize the nation's strength, ambition, and martial prowess. The flag's design reflects the intensity of fire, its colors evoking both the heat of the sun and the destructive force of a wildfire. Yet the flag's shape, a circle containing a flame, serves as the subtle reminder that fire, like all elements, requires control to prevent it from consuming everything in its path. The Fire Nation's flag thus represents a nation on the brink, its desire for dominance, both its greatest strength and its greatest flaw. Fact 71. The air nomads were designed to embody freedom, spirituality, and lightness. Drawing inspiration from Tibetan and Nepalese monastic traditions, their culture was built on the principles of peace, simplicity, and non attachment. The creators wanted the air nomads to reflect a way of life that values detachment from material possessions, living in harmony with nature and the universe. Their gentle, flowing clothing and serene temples perched on high cliffs evoke a sense of spiritual purity, emphasizing the deep connection between the soul and the world around them, with the quiet belief that peace comes through stillness and inner freedom. Fact 72. The air nomads' spirituality is rooted in their belief in the interconnectedness of all life. This philosophy is reflected in their practice of meditation and deep contemplation, which allowed them to achieve a state of inner balance. The creators envisioned the air nomads as people who viewed the world through a lens of harmony, seeking to cultivate peace within themselves before attempting to bring it to the world around them. Aang's connection to this philosophy serves as a guide throughout his journey, reminding him that his power is not just in his bending, but in his ability to find peace in his heart. Fact 73. The monasteries of the air nomads were designed to feel both isolated and expansive, with wide open spaces and towering structures set high in the mountains. The creators used this setting to evoke a sense of quiet awe, places where the hustle of the world seemed miles away. These monasteries, which were central to the air nomads' spiritual lives, represented a way of living that prioritizes reflection over action, calm over chaos. The peace within these monasteries contrasts sharply with the outside world, showing the great distance between the nomads' ideals and the realities of the broader conflict that surrounds them. Fact 74. The air nomads' design, their soft robes, circular tattoos, and peaceful expressions was meant to evoke a sense of lightness, purity, and spiritual elevation. Aang's tattoos, in particular, were symbolic of his deep connection to the air nomads, marking him as a monk chosen to carry on their legacy. The tattoo on Aang's forehead, his signature arrow, became a symbol of freedom, of movement, and of the journey toward enlightenment. The creators wanted these designs to reflect not just an aesthetic, but the very spirit of the air nomads, a people who live not by force, but by compassion and understanding. Fact 75. The disappearance of the air nomads is one of the most tragic moments in the series, and it was intentionally designed to be a haunting reminder of the fragility of peace. The Fire Nation's attack on the air nomads symbolizes the destructive force of unchecked ambition, the obliteration of a peaceful, spiritual culture in the name of conquest. This loss is not just physical, but deeply emotional for Aang, who is left to carry the weight of his people's absence. Their disappearance serves as a symbol for the importance of preserving peace, culture, and wisdom in the face of growing darkness. Fact 76. The Air Nomad's teachings emphasize the value of nonviolence, balance, and detachment. This philosophy is closely tied to the practice of airbending, which is about flow and avoidance rather than confrontation. The creators wanted airbending to feel like a natural extension of the air nomad's worldview, one where force is never the answer, and the goal is to find peace through avoidance, grace, and non attachment. This bending style, with its focus on evasion and lightness, perfectly mirrors the air nomad's peaceful ways, showing that strength can be found in yielding, not in fighting. Fact 77. The airbender tattoos worn by Aang and other air nomads were inspired by traditional Indian and Tibetan designs, with the purpose of representing both spiritual and physical mastery. The tattoos are not just decorative, but serve as symbols of the air nomads' dedication to their practices and their connection to the spirit world. Aang's tattoos reflect his place within this tradition, his identity as the less of his kind, and his deep connection to his people. The tattoos, though symbols of identity, also symbolize the burden of being the last representative of a people lost to history. Fact 78. The Air Nomad Society was based on the idea that freedom and inner peace were the highest values one could aspire to. The creators wanted their society to feel deeply connected to nature, with an emphasis on sustainability and harmony with the natural world. The air nomads' simple yet elegant architecture, combined with their focus on spiritual growth, reflected a lifestyle that sought to cultivate peace, not only in the individual, but in the world around them. Their culture was a reminder that true power lies not in conquest, but in living with balance, understanding, and love for all beings. Fact 79. The spiritual presence of the air nomads is felt throughout Aang's journey, even in their absence. Aang's ability to communicate with the spirits of his past lives, particularly his previous incarnations as the Avatar, is a reflection of his deep connection to the spiritual legacy of the air nomads. The creators intended these interactions to highlight the air nomads' belief in reincarnation, suggesting that even though their physical form has been wiped from the world, their wisdom continues to guide Aang. The spirits of the air nomads live on in him, their ideals carried forward by his journey to restore balance. Fact 80. The air nomads' influence on Aang extends far beyond their teachings. In many ways, the air nomads symbolize Aang's inner heart, reminding him of the quiet, meditative nature of his true self. Though air nomads' teachings on peace, harmony, and inner strength serve as the foundation for Ahang's character, as he learns to navigate the heavy responsibilities of being the Avatar. Their influence offers him the tools to approach every situation with balance, reminding him that true power comes not from domination, but from understanding, patience, and living in harmony with the world around him. Connectedness. The creators wanted the spirit of the Avatar to represent the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Just as the fish swims through the water, so too does the Avatar travel through time, embodying the wisdom and power of those who have come before. The spirit fish reminds us that we are part of something greater, swimming through the currents of time. Fact 81. The creatures in Avatar were designed to reflect the same balance and harmony that exist within the elements. Many of the animals in the series are hybrids, combining real world species with fantastical elements to create unique and imaginative beings. The flying bison appa, for example, blends the majestic strength of a bison with the grace and agility of a flying creature. This fusion of the familiar and the extraordinary mirrors the show's central theme that balance exists between the known and the unknown, between the tangible and the mystical, offering a soft reminder of the wonders that exist just beyond our view. Fact 82. The badger moles, who taught earthbending to the first earthbenders, were created as a visual representation of ancient wisdom and connection to the earth. These gentle, blind creatures navigate through the earth using their seismic sense, showing that understanding one's surroundings is more about feeling than seeing. The creators wanted the badger moles to symbolize the importance of attuning oneself to the world's quiet rhythms, echoing the earthbender's philosophy that true strength comes from within. The badger mole's calm demeanor and mastery of earth are reminders that wisdom is often found in the most unexpected places when one learns to listen. Fact 83. The turtle ducks in Avatar are a whimsical yet symbolic creature, representing the harmony between water and earth. These small, peaceful animals, with their blend of turtle and duck characteristics, evoke a sense of innocence and serenity. The creators designed them to reflect the themes of adaptability and fluidity found within the water tribes. The turtle duck's gentle nature and soft movements mirror the tranquility of water, showing that even in a world filled with conflict, there are moments of peace and beauty. They also serve as a reminder that every creature has its own quiet rhythm and place in the world. Fact 84. The dragon in Avatar, particularly the one that Iroh and Zuko encounter, is a symbol of power, wisdom, and spiritual connection. In the Fire Nation's mythology, dragons represent the height of mastery over fire, and their presence in the series is meant to show the deep, ancient roots of firebending. The dragon's gentle, flowing movements, in contrast with the fierceness of fire, represent the balance that firebenders must learn to control. The creators wanted the dragon to embody the idea that great strength, when tempered with wisdom, can lead to enlightenment rather than destruction, an eternal dance of fire and spirit. Fact 85. The moon spirit, Tui, is central to the water tribe's belief system. Tui controls the tides, representing the rhythmic ebb and flow of life. The creators designed Tui as a gentle yet powerful figure, embodying both the serene and destructive aspects of water. The moon's role in the world of Avatar reflects the themes of balance and cyclical change. The moon's connection to waterbending emphasizes that, just as the tides rise and fall, there are moments of quiet calm and powerful force. This duality teaches that peace is not constant. It is a delicate balance between opposing forces. Fact 86. The ocean spirit, La, is the counterpart to Tui, embodying the vastness and depth of water. La's deep presence beneath the waves reflects the hidden potential within water, quiet, untamed, and deeply connected to the world. The creators wanted La to symbolize the depths of the unconscious, the hidden power that lies beneath the surface. While Tui represents the visible, the known, La represents what is unseen, the emotional and spiritual depths that can only be reached through understanding and inner exploration. Together, Tui and La form a perfect balance, a reminder that both the seen and unseen shape our world. Fact 87. The spirit world in Avatar was designed as a place where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blur. Creators wanted the spirit world to feel both familiar and otherworldly, a realm where the forces of nature are personified and where the laws of the physical world don't always apply. The spirits in this world, like Aang's encounter with the spirit of the moon, often appear as ethereal beings, representing the deeper truths and hidden aspects of the world. Their presence serves as a reminder that there is always more to life than what can be seen or understood immediately. Fact 88. The lion turtles in Avatar are ancient, spiritual creatures that represent wisdom and the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. These creatures, revered for their age and knowledge, carry a deep symbolism of protection and guidance. The lion turtle's role as the giver of energy bending is a turning point in Aang's journey, marking the moment when Aang chooses not to kill but to purify. The lion turtle's gift reminds Aang and the viewer that the greatest strength comes from compassion and understanding, not destruction. It also shows that true power lies in one's ability to choose peace over violence. Fact 89. Appa, Aang's loyal sky bison, is more than just a companion. He is a symbol of home and loyalty. Appa's connection to Aang is rooted in their shared past, and his presence serves as a constant reminder of Aang's true self and the deep bonds he shares with his people. The creators designed Appa to be gentle and caring, with a unique presence that provides comfort to the team throughout their journey. Appa's loyalty is a calming force amidst the chaos of the world, offering Aang and his friends a sense of belonging and a safe haven in their travels. Fact 90. The spirit of the Avatar is represented by a giant fish that floats beneath the surface of the world. This symbol of the Avatar's connection to both the physical and spiritual realms reflects the show's themes of unity and interconnectedness. The creators wanted the spirit of the Avatar to represent the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Just as the fish swims through the water, so too does the Avatar travel through time, embodying the wisdom and power of those who have come before. The spirit fish reminds us that we are part of something greater, swimming through the currents of time. Fact 91. The creators of Avatar were deeply influenced by traditional animation techniques, particularly hand-drawn animation. While the series was created using digital tools, the animators sought to preserve the fluidity and artistry of traditional animation by focusing on smooth, expressive movements and detailed character designs. The creators wanted the animation to feel organic and full of life, with a focus on fluid motion that mirrored the bending abilities of the characters. This commitment to traditional techniques brought an added layer of warmth and authenticity to the animation, creating a visual style that felt both timeless and groundbreaking. Fact 92. The color palette in Avatar was carefully selected to reflect the emotional tone of each scene and culture. For example, the Water Tribe was often depicted with soft blues and whites, evoking a sense of calm and serenity. The Earth Kingdom was filled with deep greens and browns, symbolizing strength and endurance. The Fire Nation was represented by fiery reds, oranges, and blacks, reflecting the intense passion and ambition of its people. The creators wanted the colors to feel organic, so they blended the world's natural hues with the emotional undertones of each culture and character. Fact 93. The character designs in Avatar were created to reflect not only the culture and background of each character, but also their inner journey. For example, Zuko's scar was designed to be a visual representation of his inner turmoil, his struggle between his father's expectations and his own desire for honor. As Zuko's character evolves, so too does the design of his clothing, transitioning from the rigid, structured Fire Nation military uniform to softer, more humble attire. This gradual change in design was meant to mirror his emotional growth and his eventual embrace of his true self. Fact 94. The soundtrack of Avatar was composed by Jeremy Zuckerman and Benjamin Wynn, who sought to create a score that was both culturally rich and emotionally resonant. The music was designed to reflect the different nations and their philosophies. The Water Tribe themes often incorporated flowing, melodic tones, while the Fire Nation's music was intense, with powerful percussion and brass. The Earth Kingdom's score was grounded and rhythmic, while the Air Nomad's music was ethereal and light. The creators wanted the music to feel like an extension of the world itself, deepening the emotional experience of the story. Fact 95. The voice actors in Avatar were carefully selected to bring depth and authenticity to the characters. Zuko was voiced by Dante Basco, who infused the character with a mix of vulnerability and anger, reflecting Zuko's inner conflict. Katara was voiced by Mae Whitman, whose soft, nurturing voice brought warmth to Katara's character. The creators were committed to finding actors who could capture the emotional complexity of the characters, allowing their voices to resonate with both the children and the adults watching. The performances were key to bringing the show's emotional depth to life, making the characters feel real. Fact 96. The creators of Avatar used Eastern philosophy as a guiding principle for the show's themes. They sought to incorporate ideas from Buddhism, Taoism, and Hinduism in order to explore concepts like balance, enlightenment, and interconnectedness. The idea that all elements and cultures must coexist in harmony is a central theme in the show, reflecting the importance of living in balance with oneself and the world. This spiritual foundation informed not only the narrative, but also the visual style, character development, and the world building, making Avatar a show that invites viewers to reflect on deeper, universal truths. Fact 97. One of the unique features of Avatar is its emphasis on slow, deliberate pacing, allowing the story to unfold at a natural, contemplative pace. The creators wanted the series to give viewers time to reflect on the emotional moments, making each revelation feel earned. This pacing, especially in character driven scenes, allowed the audience to connect with the characters on a deeper level. The show's pacing is like the flow of water, sometimes calm and steady, other times rapid and intense, but always moving towards something greater. The creators understood that slow storytelling often allows for the most profound emotional impact. Fact 98. The world building in Avatar was created with great care and attention to detail, with each nation having its own history, culture, and mythology. The creators took inspiration from real world civilizations, adapting their traditions, beliefs, and values to fit within the fantastical world of the series. They wanted to ensure that the world felt cohesive and rich, with each culture and element influencing the characters and plot. This intricate world building is what gives Avatar its sense of depth and authenticity. Every corner of the world feels lived in, with its own unique history, traditions, and stories waiting to be discovered. Fact 99. The elemental philosophy behind Avatar is rooted in the belief that balance is the key to maintaining harmony in the world. The creators use the elements water, earth, fire, and air as metaphors for different aspects of human nature. Water represents flexibility and adaptability. Earth symbolizes strength and endurance. Fire embodies passion and transformation, and air reflects freedom and spirituality. Through the characters' interactions with these elements, the series explores how balance can be achieved in both the physical world and within oneself. This philosophical approach invites viewers to consider how they can bring balance to their own lives. Fact 100. The legacy of Avatar extends far beyond the show itself. The creators wanted the series to inspire future generations to think critically about peace, balance, and the interconnectedness of all things. Avatar has inspired countless fans, artists, and creators, sparking discussions on philosophy, politics, and personal growth. Its influence can be seen in many other works of media that seek to explore deeper themes through rich, complex characters and worlds. The show's lasting impact is a testament to the creator's vision of storytelling that transcends age, culture, and time, continuing to inspire viewers to this day. Fact 101. The voice of Aang, provided by Zach Tyler Eisen, perfectly captured the character's blend of childlike innocence and deep, ancient wisdom. Eisen's performance was critical in conveying Aang's journey as the reluctant hero, the boy who carries the weight of the world on his shoulders, but does so with a sense of joy and humor. The creators wanted Aang to feel approachable and light, yet still carry the gravity of his role as the Avatar. Eisen's voice captures this balance, making Aang a relatable and endearing character who reflects both youthful optimism and inner strength. Fact 102. Mae Whitman, who voiced Katara, brought a sense of warmth and compassion to the character. Katara's nurturing role within the group required Whitman to convey not only strength, but also tenderness, especially as Katara became a mother figure to Aang and Sokka. Whitman's voice provided Katara with a grounding presence. Her softness never overshadowed her resilience. Katara's journey from a girl seeking to heal the world to a confident waterbender is reflected in Whitman's performance, showing how subtle emotional shifts can be communicated through voice, making Katara's growth feel both natural and deeply emotional. Fact 103. The voice of Sokka, provided by Jack DeCina, brought a unique blend of humor and vulnerability to the series. Sokka's character, though often the comic relief, is more than just jokes. His arc is about growth and discovering his own strengths. DeCina's delivery of Sokka's lines captured his quick wit and sarcastic humor while also reflecting the character's underlying insecurities and desire to prove himself. Sokka's voice performance evolves as he matures throughout the series, transforming from a boy who seeks approval to a leader who finds his own sense of worth. Fact 104. Dante Basco, the voice behind Zuko, delivered one of the most emotionally complex performances in Avatar. Zuko's character arc is about internal struggle and redemption, and Basco's performance captures the intensity of this journey. His voice embodies the pain of Zuko's exile, the anger that defines much of his character early on, and the quiet vulnerability that emerges as Zuko begins to question his beliefs. Basco's nuanced performance creates a sense of authenticity, making Zuko's emotional evolution feel grounded and real, drawing viewers into his personal struggle for identity and honor. Fact Snow 5 Iro, voiced by Mako Iwamatsu, was designed as the father figure Zuko never had. Iwamatsu's portrayal of Iroh is full of warmth, wisdom, and humor, offering a calming presence amidst the chaos of the Fire Nation. Iroh's gentle guidance and quiet strength, reflected through Iwamatsu's voice, become central to Zuko's redemption arc. His voice imbues Iroh with a profound sense of peace, but also a tragic weight as he bears the loss of his own son. Iwamatsu's performance has elevated Iroh to a beloved character, one whose wisdom and love resonate deeply with audiences. Fact Sunset 6 The Fire Nation royal family was portrayed with distinct voices that match their characters' personalities. Mark Hamill, known for his role as Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, voiced the tyrannical Fire Lord Ozai. Hamill's voice for Ozai is chillingly cold and authoritative, capturing the essence of a leader whose desire for control and power knows no bounds. The creators wanted Ozai's voice to evoke fear and intimidation, and Hamill's performance delivered this with precision. His voice conveys both the anger and the calculating nature of Ozai, making him one of the most feared and memorable villains in the series. Fact 107 The voice of Toph Beifong, provided by Jesse Flower, was a perfect match for the character's fierce independence and determination. Toph's personality, though brash and outspoken, also carries an underlying vulnerability, a trait Flower was able to convey beautifully through her performance. Toph's growth from a blind, underestimated girl to the greatest earthbender was reflected in Flower's vocal delivery, which allowed her to capture Toph's mix of confidence, defiance, and strength. Flower's voice brought Toph's character to life, giving her the depth and complexity that made her one of the series' most beloved characters. Fact 108 Zhao, voiced by Jason Isaacs, was the primary antagonist for much of the series. Isaacs brought a ruthless, calculating tone to Zhao, giving the character an air of superiority and menace. The creators wanted Zhao's voice to reflect his ambition and obsession with defeating the Avatar, which Isaacs achieved through a performance that was both cold and commanding. Zhao's character represents the Fire Nation's militaristic, power-driven side, and Isaacs's voice captures this perfectly, making Zhao a formidable foe. His performance adds an extra layer of intimidation, showing that evil can come in forms that are calm, collected, and utterly dangerous. Fact 109 The voice actors for Avatar were encouraged to improvise in certain scenes to create a more authentic, natural dialogue. This creative freedom allowed the actors to add personal touches to their performances, making the characters feel more genuine. For example, Sokka's sarcastic remarks and playful banter were often improvised, adding layers of humor and personality to the character. This improvisational approach allowed the voice actors to bring their characters to life in a way that felt spontaneous and true to their personalities, enhancing the emotional resonance of the series and deepening the audience's connection to the characters. Fact 110 The recording sessions for Avatar were often collaborative, with voice actors interacting and feeding off one another's energy to create more dynamic performances. The directors and producers valued the actors' input, allowing them to contribute to the emotional depth of their characters. This collaboration helped to shape the relationships between characters, making them feel more authentic and grounded. The voice actors often recorded together in the same room, which helped create a natural rhythm between characters, allowing their dialogues to feel real and spontaneous. This sense of camaraderie and connection made the performances even more heartfelt. Fact 111. The soundtrack of Avatar was composed by Jeremy Zuckerman and Benjamin Wynn of the track team, and it is one of the series' most beloved elements. The music was designed to reflect the cultural and emotional depth of the world, using a blend of traditional and contemporary instruments. For example, the Water Tribe's theme features soft, flowing melodies created with strings and flutes, evoking a sense of fluidity and calm. Meanwhile, the Fire Nation's score is built on strong percussion and brass, symbolizing the intensity of the nation's ambition and the inner turmoil of its people. Fact 112. The use of instruments in the Avatar soundtrack is deeply tied to the distinct cultural identities of each nation. The Earth Kingdom's music often incorporates percussive and stringed instruments, like gongs and pipa, reflecting the strength and grounded nature of the Earthbenders. These instruments evoke a sense of resilience, evoking the image of solid earth and towering mountains. The creators intentionally used these instruments to ground the audience in the world of the Earth Kingdom, making the music feel like a reflection of the people, stoic, enduring, and always in tune with the rhythm of nature. Fact 113. Iroh's theme, composed by Jeremy Zuckerman, is one of the most emotionally moving pieces in the series. The music is built around a soft piano and guitar, evoking feelings of nostalgia and melancholy, mirroring Iroh's complex emotional journey. Iroh's theme conveys his deep sense of loss, love, and wisdom, offering a soft, bittersweet reflection of his character. As Iroh becomes a mentor to Zuko, his theme evolves from a solo melody into something more complex, symbolizing his growing inner peace and the wisdom he imparts to Zuko, a reminder that peace is often forged in the quiet moments. Or fact 114. The airbending theme is characterized by high-pitched, ethereal sounds, often played on flutes and wind instruments, capturing the gentle, fluid nature of air. The use of airy light tones mirrors the air nomad's philosophy of freedom and spirituality. The creators wanted the music to evoke the sensation of wind sweeping through the sky, emphasizing the feeling of weightlessness that is central to airbending. Aong's theme, woven into the larger airbending score, carries a sense of optimism and peace, reminding the viewer that, like the air, true strength comes not from force, but from gentleness and a willingness to flow with the world. Fact 115. The musical score for the Fire Nation is intense, fast paced, and often dominated by brass, drums, and guitars, reflecting the nation's passion, ambition, and fiery nature. The composers wanted the music to mirror the internal tension within the Fire Nation, an energy that burns hot and bright, but can easily spiral out of control. The rhythmic and harsh elements of the Fire Nation's score symbolize both its strength and its dangerous potential for destruction. This contrast highlights the central conflict of the Fire Nation: how to channel raw power into something constructive rather than allowing it to consume everything in its path. Fact 116. The creators of Avatar wanted to ensure that each nation's music felt deeply connected to its land and culture. For the Water Tribes, the composers incorporated water-like sounds, such as gentle chimes, bells, and flutes, to evoke the flowing nature of water and the peaceful, reflective qualities of the people. This use of water inspired instruments helped set the tone for the Water Tribe's themes of healing, adaptability, and connection to nature. The music's fluidity reflects the people's ability to adjust to change, while still remaining rooted in the principles of balance and unity with the world around them. Fact 117. The music of the spirit world is haunting and ethereal, with ambient sounds and soft, echoing tones that give it an otherworldly atmosphere. The creators wanted the spirit world's music to feel both alien and familiar, drawing the viewer into a space that exists beyond the physical realm. This use of eerie soundscapes and minimalist compositions reflects the mysterious nature of the spirit world, an ambiguous place where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur. The music enhances the feeling of spiritual presence and connection, suggesting that the spirit world is both a place of peace and uncertainty. Fact 118. The use of silence in Avatar is just as powerful as the music itself. Many of the show's most emotional moments are underscored by quiet, allowing the visuals and characters' expressions to carry the weight of the scene. This careful use of silence creates space for reflection, giving the audience time to absorb the emotional significance of what's happening. In moments of great tension or deep emotional change, the absence of music amplifies the impact, drawing the viewer's attention to the characters' internal worlds. The creators used silence to emphasize the idea that some of life's most important moments are felt, not heard. Fact 119. The Air Nomads' music uses simple, open melodies, often incorporating flutes, chimes, and soft percussion to reflect the Air Nomads' philosophy of minimalism and spiritual freedom. The music is designed to feel light and uplifting, mirroring the Air Nomads' connection to the wind and their belief in living without attachment. The creators wanted the Air Nomads' theme to evoke a sense of peace, as if the melody was carried effortlessly by the wind itself. This music reflects the Air Nomads' ideals of detachment from material possessions and their focus on spiritual growth, suggesting that true freedom lies in simplicity. Fact 120. The closing credits music of Avatar is a subtle, beautiful piece that ties together the series' themes of growth, change, and unity. It features gentle strings and soft percussion, evoking a sense of reflection and closure. The creators wanted the closing credits to feel like a peaceful resolution, providing the audience with a moment to reflect on the journey they've just experienced. The music slowly builds in layers, symbolizing the evolving nature of the characters and the world they inhabit. It is a final reminder that though the story may end, the themes of balance, wisdom, and peace continue to resonate. Fact 121. The locations in Avatar were carefully designed to reflect the values and cultural identities of each nation. For example, the Air Nomads' temples were perched on towering mountains, symbolizing their detachment from the material world and their closeness to the spiritual realm. The mountain's height and isolation reflect the Air Nomads' belief in freedom and inner peace, untouched by the struggles of the world below. The creators wanted these locations to feel both awe-inspiring and tranquil, offering a visual representation of the Air Nomads' serene way of life, where one could reflect deeply in solitude. Fact 122. The Fire Nation's landscapes were designed to reflect the power, danger, and ambition that characterize the nation. The fiery, volcanic terrain is harsh, and the lava flows serve as a constant reminder of the destructive potential of the Fire Nation's power. The creators wanted to show that the land itself was shaped by the force of the Fire Nation's desires, its beauty intertwined with violence. The mountainous, fiery vistas reflect the internal conflict of its people, an overwhelming drive for greatness, tempered by the risk of burning everything in the process. The land feels alive with heat and tension. Fact 123. The Earth Kingdom's diverse geography mirrors the resilience and adaptability of its people. From lush forests to arid deserts, the Earth Kingdom's landscape is a reflection of the country's ability to thrive in a variety of environments. The cities, such as Ba Sing Se, are built with sturdy walls to protect against external threats, but the sprawling countryside is full of life and nature. The Earth Kingdom's varied landscapes represent the strength found in diversity, suggesting that balance can be achieved through adaptability. The rugged mountains and fertile plains symbolize endurance and the power to remain grounded. In 124, the water tribe's icy landscapes were inspired by the vast frozen tundras of the Arctic. The creators wanted the environments to evoke a sense of both isolation and resilience, with long stretches of snow and ice that seem unending and unyielding. The frozen waters and snow covered peaks symbolize the strength required to survive in such a harsh environment. Yet beneath this cold exterior lies a deep well of warmth, represented by the water tribe's close knit communities. The snow, while harsh, also evokes beauty and purity, an environment where survival is hard won, but life persists with great strength. Fact 125. The Si Wong Desert, featured in the Earth Kingdom, was inspired by the real world Sahara Desert and Gobi Desert. The creators designed the desert to feel vast and endless, with sand dunes stretching as far as the eye can see. The desert's stark beauty and unforgiving nature represent the internal struggles of the characters who travel through it. The Si Wong Desert is a place where only the most resourceful and determined can survive, much like the Earth Kingdom's people. The harshness of the desert is a visual metaphor for the emotional deserts the characters must navigate on their journeys. Fact 126. The Fire Nation capital was designed with Japanese castles as a primary influence, with towering, imposing structures meant to reflect the strength and authority of the Fire Nation. The grand, sweeping architecture conveys a sense of power and control, while the harsh, angular shapes of the buildings represent the rigid, hierarchical structure of the Fire Nation. The capital's design reflects the duality of the Fire Nation, a place of great beauty but also great danger. The towering walls and spires feel both majestic and suffocating, echoing the tension between the desire for greatness and the cost of that ambition. Fact 127. The Northern Water Tribe was designed to feel like an ancient, mystical city, one that has stood for centuries, protected by the vast icy tundra surrounding it. The creators drew inspiration from Inuit and Alaskan cultures, using the icy environment as a metaphor for the tribe's ability to endure. The massive ice structures and palaces evoke a sense of majesty and history, suggesting that the Water Tribe is a culture steeped in tradition and wisdom. Despite the harsh climate, the Northern Tribe's connection to the water and the spiritual world allows them to thrive, a testament to their inner strength. Fact 128. The air nomads' temples, perched high atop the mountains, were designed to feel peaceful and ethereal, untouched by the troubles of the world below. The serene, Minimalist design reflects the air nomad's philosophy of detachment and simplicity. The creators wanted these temples to feel like sanctuaries, places where one could find stillness and peace. The lightness of the buildings, with their soft curves and open spaces, symbolizes the air nomads' connection to the wind and their belief in freedom. The temples offer a space for contemplation and reflection, echoing the air nomads' commitment to spiritual growth. Fact 129: the Western Air Temple, featured later in the series, was designed to evoke a sense of mystery and ancient power. The creators placed the temple in a high remote location, symbolizing the isolation of the air nomads after their disappearance. The crumbling structure and hidden rooms add to the feeling of lost history, while the presence of the ancient air nomad statues provides a connection to the past. The Western Air Temple serves as a place of reflection for Aang, a reminder of his people and their beliefs. It becomes a place where Aang can reconnect with his heritage. Fact 103: the South Pole was designed as a quiet, unspoiled environment, untouched by the wars and conflicts of the world. The creators wanted to convey a sense of purity and simplicity in the South Pole, with its pristine snow and clear skies. This serene setting provides a stark contrast to the turbulent world Aang is about to enter. The South Pole's untouched beauty also reflects the innocence of Aang's childhood, when he was sheltered from the burdens of the Avatar's responsibility. The icy landscape is symbolic of Aang's purity, and his journey represents the gradual thawing of that innocence as he grows into his role. Fact 131: the creators of Avatar initially had a different vision for the Fire Nation, which was meant to be depicted as a more noble and morally complex civilization. However, as the series developed, the Fire Nation became a representation of unchecked ambition and desire for domination. This shift in perspective allowed the creators to explore themes of power, responsibility, and redemption in greater depth. While the Fire Nation was originally envisioned as more balanced, its transformation into a more antagonistic force deepened the emotional and moral complexity of the series, especially with characters like Zuko and Iroh at the forefront. Fact 132: many of the cutscenes from Avatar offered a glimpse into the early development of the story, and some were later incorporated into expanded media. One such scene was meant to introduce an entire kingdom that was later scrapped due to pacing issues. This kingdom was originally designed to be a peaceful, neutral place where the Avatar could learn and grow further. However, the storyline ultimately took a different path. This unused concept highlights the evolving nature of the series and how the creators continuously refined the narrative to focus on the main story arcs and character development. Fact 133: an early concept art design for Zuko featured him with a much more flamboyant look, including an extravagant hairstyle and bright, elaborate clothing. This design was scrapped as the creators felt it didn't align with Zuko's internal struggles and complex character development. Instead, Zuko's eventual design was more somber and practical, reflecting his status as a prince in exile. The change in Zuko's visual design parallels his internal transformation, one that becomes more grounded and humble as he embarks on his journey of redemption. This adjustment in appearance mirrors the way he sheds his past to find his true self. Fact 134: in Avatar, the waterbending techniques were initially imagined as more fluid and sweeping, reflecting the natural flow of water. However, The animators soon realized that more defined, controlled movements would better illustrate waterbending's connection to grace and precision. This change helped waterbending evolve into a bending style that's not only about power, but also balance, control, and adaptability. The transition from broad movements to refined gestures mirrors the character's development, especially Katara's journey from a novice to a skilled, confident bender. It emphasizes the idea that true power lies in the control of one's emotions and abilities. Fact 135: the spirit world was designed to be an enigmatic, liminal space with its architecture and environment, reflecting the otherworldly nature of the spirits. The creators drew inspiration from Asian temples and mystical landscapes, creating a world where the laws of physics and time often feel irrelevant. This surreal design was meant to represent the idea that the spirit world is a place beyond human understanding, a realm that exists outside the natural world and yet is deeply connected to it. The ethereal, dreamlike quality of the spirit world underscores the series' exploration of the unseen forces that shape reality. Fact 136: a hidden connection in Avatar is the parallel between Aang and Zuko, which is subtly woven throughout the series. Both characters are exiles from their respective nations, each struggling with their identity and purpose. Aang's journey to accept his role as the Avatar mirrors Zuko's quest for redemption and understanding. Both characters are searching for balance, Aang with the worlds, Zuko with himself. The show draws these connections to emphasize that growth and healing often come from within, and that even the greatest of enemies can share the same vulnerabilities. This subtle connection enriches their eventual reconciliation. Fact 137: the Fire Nation's colors, red, orange, and black, were carefully chosen not just to symbolize the intensity of fire, but to reflect the nation's deeper emotional state. Red and orange represent both passion and violence, while black symbolizes the hidden, suffocating power of the Fire Nation's ambition. This color scheme is also a visual representation of the internal turmoil of characters like Zuko and Azula. While the Fire Nation's external appearance is bold and aggressive, its inner conflict, manifested in its royal family, is symbolized by the darker tones. The series uses these colors to show that ambition, while powerful, can consume everything. Fact 138: one cut concept that was ultimately not included in the show was the idea of a special Bender Council, a governing body made up of powerful benders from each nation. This council was meant to advise the Avatar and maintain balance, but the idea was abandoned in favor of focusing on the personal journeys of the main characters. The decision to focus on Aang, Zuko, and their companions, rather than a larger political structure, allowed the creators to explore the emotional and philosophical themes of the series in greater depth. The characters' personal growth became the heart of the story. Fact 139: the earthbending technique was initially planned to be much more aggressive and rigid. However, the animators and creators felt that earthbending, while powerful, should also reflect the qualities of resilience, determination, and steady progress. This led to a revision of earthbending that emphasized both defensive and offensive power, using the earth as a form of strength that can endure and adapt. Earthbending's eventual fluidity, especially with characters like Toph, embodies the idea that true strength lies in both standing firm and knowing when to adapt. It became a metaphor for personal growth and inner stability. Fact 140: the world building in Avatar was a meticulous process, with each element and nation's design representing a core philosophy. For example, the water tribes were inspired by the natural rhythms of water, focusing on adaptability, healing, and peace. This design concept influenced not only the characters' bending styles, but also their culture, values, and interactions with the world around them. The creators wanted the water tribes to reflect a balance between strength and softness, showing that the most powerful force often lies in one's ability to adapt and nurture. Water's flow reflects the importance of connection and flexibility. Fact 141: Avatar. The Last Airbender has become more than just a beloved animated series. It is a cultural touchstone that has influenced storytelling across many platforms. The show's impact can be seen in how it shaped the landscape of animated television, encouraging more nuanced, character driven stories. Its themes of balance, redemption, and identity resonate with audiences worldwide, transcending age and culture. The creators wanted to tell a story that was both entertaining and meaningful, and their success in doing so has inspired a new generation of creators who seek to explore deeper, more complex themes through animation. Fact 142: the legacy of Avatar extends beyond its immediate cultural impact into the world of fandoms and fan creations. From fan art and fan fiction to cosplay and conventions, Avatar has inspired a passionate and creative community. The show's deeply emotional and philosophical themes, combined with its memorable characters, have sparked a lasting connection with viewers. The fandom is a testament to the power of storytelling to create connections, whether through shared interests or the collective desire to understand the world through Aang, Zuko, Katara, and others. The series continues to foster a sense of community among its fans. Fact 143: the success of Avatar led to the creation of spin offs and a sequel series, The Legend of Korra, which continued exploring themes of identity, power, and balance in an evolving world. The success of these projects shows how deeply Avatar resonated with viewers. The creators of Korra intentionally chose to address new challenges in the world of bending and the Avatar cycle, while maintaining the series' deep philosophical roots. Korra continued to explore the complexity of power and the ongoing battle for balance, capturing the same emotional depth and introspection that made Avatar so beloved. Fact 144: the themes of Avatar are universal, touching on topics like family, identity, and responsibility. The creators wanted the show to address serious issues such as loss, war, and redemption without becoming overly dark or heavy. They struck a delicate balance between fun and thoughtful storytelling, using humor and lighthearted moments to balance the show's more serious themes. The ability to navigate complex emotions with nuance has made Avatar an enduring classic, one that continues to inspire viewers to reflect on their own journeys and the world around them. It remains a story of personal growth and collective healing. Fact 145: Avatar's unique blend of spirituality, philosophy, and action has sparked widespread academic and philosophical discussion. The show's exploration of Eastern philosophies, such as Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism, has been examined by scholars who appreciate the depth of its storytelling. Themes like balance, nonviolence, and the importance of inner peace are explored through Aang's journey and the lessons he learns. The series has become a touchstone for understanding how animated shows can engage with complex ideas, showing that animation is a powerful tool for discussing philosophical concepts that can inspire both children and adults alike. Fact 146: the artistic style of Avatar, a beautiful blend of Asian inspired designs and Western animation techniques, has been praised for its unique aesthetic. The creators drew inspiration from a variety of Asian cultures and martial arts to create a world that felt both familiar and fantastical. The animation's flowing movements and detailed landscapes have been lauded for their elegance, bringing the world of the Four Nations to life with stunning visual storytelling. This fusion of art styles made the show stand out, offering viewers a visually immersive experience while telling stories that were deeply grounded in cultural and philosophical depth. Fact 147: the character arcs in Avatar reflect a profound exploration of self identity and growth, which resonates strongly with audiences of all ages. Characters like Aang, Zuko, Katara, and Sokka each undergo transformative journeys, learning about themselves and what it means to be part of a larger world. Aang must confront his duties as the Avatar while holding on to his ideals of peace, while Zuko's path to redemption teaches viewers about self forgiveness and the complexity of moral choices. Katara and Sokka's journeys also explore themes of courage, strength, and family, reinforcing that growth often comes through hardship and resilience. Fact 148: the global impact of Avatar is evident in its cultural relevance across different countries and age groups. The series has been praised for its universal themes and inclusive representation, making it a show that resonates with viewers from diverse backgrounds. Its lessons on respect for nature, empathy, and the importance of inner peace are values that transcend borders. The show's ability to connect with audiences around the world highlights the power of storytelling to bridge cultural gaps, offering a shared experience that transcends language and geographical barriers, reminding viewers of their shared humanity and the importance of compassion. Fact 149: Avatar was not only groundbreaking in its storytelling and animation, but also in its attention to detail. The creators worked tirelessly to ensure that each episode was rich with cultural nuances, philosophical insights, and character development. The depth of the world building, its intricate systems of bending, spiritual beliefs, and historical context gave the show a feeling of authenticity. The careful research into martial arts, ancient cultures, and philosophy added layers of complexity to the world of Avatar, making it feel like a living, breathing universe where every choice and action mattered. This level of care enriched the narrative in profound ways. Fact 150: in the end, our Avatar continues to be remembered not just for its action and humor, but for its lasting emotional impact. The show's messages of hope, balance, and redemption have resonated with millions of fans, leaving a legacy that endures in both popular culture and the hearts of its viewers. Aang's journey, marked by moments of sorrow, joy, and growth, reminds us that even in the most challenging times, we have the capacity to change, to heal, and to find peace. Avatar remains a timeless reminder that true strength comes from within and that balance is the key to a better world. Thank you for drifting through these stories with me tonight. As the final embers of this journey fade, may the wisdom of the elements, the lessons of Aang and his companions, and the quiet beauty of their world stay with you. May your dreams be filled with peaceful winds, flowing waters, unshakable earth, and gentle fire, the balance of life itself. Let your heart find the calm it seeks as you rest and recharge for the days ahead. Good night, and may you always find peace within, just as the Avatar found balance in the world.